Cancer, hello and welcome to your summer 2024 shapeshift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the summer season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and I'm joined today by the whole Kim Krans tarot set. We have the animal deck, we've got the archetypes, and of course, the wild unknown. So we're going to use all of these decks and more to get into your shapeshift for the summer season. Okay. Happy birthday, Cancer. Let's see how you're shifting for your birthday season. All right. Let's use the animals here. Show us the shape shift for Cancer this summer. Okay. Interesting. Shifting from Cobra to Crow. Honestly, this is not that big of a shift for me. This is pretty, it's same energy. They both carry this like very sort of stoic quality. Let's use the archetypes to see what that shape shift looks and feels like. Yeah, exactly the energy. Okay, interesting. Let's look at this together. So you're shifting from the Cobra energy into the Crow through the empty room. What is up with this, Cancer? Okay, so the Cobra tends to speak about like, let's just find it in the guidebook. While I find it, just maybe take a minute to look at the Cobra and the Crow in the empty room and see like how is this speaking to you? And let's see if our interpretations line up. Okay, so the Cobra talks about pausing, waiting, and like tapping into your inner teacher. And then the Crow is spiritual strength. It's a more creative energy. We can see that like sphere that the Crow is holding feels really creative and alive. But it's a very watchful energy, and they're both actually pretty watchful. And then the fact that they're moving through this empty room, there's just something about it that feels sort of unchanging. It feels sort of like whatever this shift is for you, Cancer, it's really subtle. Maybe it's just like clearing something out in order to invite in a little bit more creativity into what you're already doing, or a little bit more magic, a little bit more intuitive understanding into the energy that you're already clearly bringing to the table, which is one of like spiritual depth and like a strong sense of like watchful waiting. Okay, watchful waiting, Cancer. Let's read some more here. Cobra. The Cobra says that it represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The Cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. Such a Cancer energy, hovering, watching, protecting. The essence of the Cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides, those people who have led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? Are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When this energy is in balance, you get like someone who is a student of life, like always a student, very humble, very wise. When out of balance, you can get like a know-it-all, egocentric, like I am the guru idea. And then in order to bring it into balance, like take a class, study, become the learner once again. Okay, so interesting. You're shifting out of this energy of like pausing, waiting, sort of waiting for the teacher, maybe waiting for the teaching. And then moving into the crow, let's read the crow. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Got it. Interesting. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. When in balance, the crow is psychic, strong, and clear. When out of balance, the crow is ungrounded and hypersensitive. To bring it into balance, a daily meditation practice. Whoa. Whoa. A daily meditation practice here. Like in the empty room, in which you sort of like, there's like this purification idea or like clearing through in order to hone in on your own clarity. So if you're in this space, Cancer, this summer, where you're sort of like watchful, waiting for the teacher to teach you or waiting to be taught, it's sort of like, no, you are the crow. Like you're shifting into this realization of your own psychic abilities and your own intuition, your own incredible spiritual capacities. And in order to make that shift, you need to recognize when to clear. And clearing, it can happen through meditation. It can happen even through like diet or taking a walk or just getting some alone time or getting some time to create. Like however you clear your own interior clutter. And by the way, like cleaning your bedroom is a way of clearing your own internal clutter as well. That sort of idea of feng shui, like where the exterior is a reflection of the interior and vice versa. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's see just more about the empty room here in the archetypes. Wow. Cancer, this is really deep and really profound, and it sort of feels like you're recognizing the profundity of your own depth and like becoming the teacher and the student all at once, where you're learning to sort of trust your own process and like learn from your own internal process. Maybe you are literally studying something though this summer. I could see that. Okay, the empty room is the vortex, the abyss. It's the nothing. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequent feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, to fill ourselves with anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, and yet we perceive it as not enough. Wow. This card is a cry for patience. Yeah. Waiting, watchful, this idea of like watchful waiting. It's a call for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting the true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to save our outward appearance or like alleviate that sense of discomfort. Be with the nothingness. Be with the impatience. The empty room has immense powers. Let others wonder what you're doing. Yeah, Cancer, let them wonder. Let them wonder. Like, let yourself be a little mysterious. Let yourself be a little, like, gestationally creative behind closed doors. People wondering, like, what are you up to? Okay, I love that. Because you're not jumping to tell everybody to sort of, like, satiate yourself into others. You're in that discomfort of, like, the abyss where something incredible will emerge, but you're like having the patience and the stoic wisdom to breathe into the emptiness and just like let it show itself. Ugh, this is the hardest ask, at least for me. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. Spaciousness, potential, possibility. Watch out for like addictive tendencies or like insatiability, or like more for more's sake. Like, what are you feeling? What are you running from? Okay. Interesting. Listen to John Cage's 4 foot 33 inches for more inspiration. And what else? The archetype of the empty room is also portrayed as the hungry ghost. Okay, super helpful. The hungry ghost here. Always feeding, never satiated. And a day of silence is a surefire way to harness the power of the empty room. Yeah, man. Woo! Okay. I did this 5-day silent meditation retreat once, and it was completely transformative and life-changing for me. And I experienced levels of like psychic experience that I have never quite reached before, and like haven't since. And when I came home from that 5-day, that silent retreat, and I mean like no talking for 5 days and like many hours of sitting in meditation. And when I came home from that, it was so shocking to come back to the city after like going on this sort of like private setting retreat, and then to come back into the noise and the loudness and the more and it was all just like so overwhelming when I finally adjusted to being in the empty room. But I have to say, like, my experience of adjusting to those 5 days, like the first two or 3 days, 2.5 days, I found myself in this insatiable energy, in this tendency of like, I would like walk the beach and just collect like as many beautiful rocks as I could carry, and like try to bring them back to the place I was staying. And it was, I realize in retrospect, it was this like attempt to fill this suddenly empty space and like to assuage my discomfort. So if any of this is resonating for you, Cancer, so far, we're going to need to look to the other decks. We're going to go to the Wild Unknown for like a full clarification reading, and then finish up with the liminal space. So we're going to have to get into this and understand like how this shapeshift is one of like deepening into your own psychic teachings and your own inner knowing, and like finding the creative potential in this watch and wait empty space, and even like intentionally cultivating empty space to allow the potential to reveal itself. Okay. So if this is something that you're interested in, click the link in the description box below, and that will take you to the full reading, which is inside of the shifting space. This is a space for members to explore these readings together over the course of the entire season. We will link in the astrology. There's a chat space. We watch the readings together. Okay, so if you're into that kind of investigative thing and you want to view the full reading and get the full perspective on this shapeshift, I invite you to join us there. And I hope to see you there. You know, also Cancer, this is your birthday season. If you're interested in a personal reading with me, I've got a special full circle reading that pulls a card for each month of your year and links in the astrology of your annual profection to see how this solar year might look for you. So if that's something you're into, again, all of the things can be found in the links in the video description. Okay, Cancer, happy birthday, and let's keep going.